to Art with Miss Liso. So I hope you viewed the video today that Miss Liso posted in Google Classrooms. If you haven't, please pause that video and go see that first. So, because Miss Liso has a question about that video for you. In the video, tell me, what was the name of the group of friends that created art in the same style? What was the name of that group? Do you remember? Talk with your grown-up or talk with the friend or sister or brother you're with. Do you guys remember? Tell Miss Liso, what was the name of that group? Yeah, so they were called Impressionists. And if you noticed, our artist from last week is in that group also. So Edgar Degas also was an Impressionist. Now, this week, my friends, I want to talk about a new artist who's in that group of Impressionists called Claude Monet. So, Claude Monet was also an Impressionist, and he was also from France. He was the founder of Impressionism. That means him and his friends got together and created this new style of art, which loved light, painting outside, and color. So, I want you to take a look at this beautiful Claude Monet painting. Take a look, and I want you to tell me, what do you notice about this beautiful artwork? How is it created? Do you think he used pencil? Was it inside? What kind of art is it? What do you notice about this artwork? Turn and talk to your grown-up and pause this video to turn and talk about this art. Did you pause the video? Awesome. Okay, so now tell Miss Liso, what do you notice about this artwork? Tell Miss Liso. Yeah, so I noticed that too. This Claude Monet painting is a painting. I just gave it away. It's a painting, right? And it's outside. So before, kinder friends, we've talked about a still life. We talked about a portrait, which is a picture of a person. This type of art, my friends, is a landscape. Why do you think we call it a landscape? What is a landscape a picture of? Now, if you see the word landscape, it has a clue in the word. What is a landscape a picture of? Tell Miss Liso. Great. So a landscape, my friends, is a picture of the land. Now that could be many things. It could be a picture of what I see outside my window. If I draw that, that would be my landscape. It could be a picture of when I'm outside at the park. If I draw that, that would be my landscape. So we're going to start our landscape unit today. But first we need a little practice. I want to go back to the picture of Claude Monet, and I want you to notice something. Let's take a look at this picture again. I know you mentioned it was a painting, but if you look a little closer, there are brush strokes in that painting that Claude Monet used to make it look like it was light outside, like the color is being shimmery with light because of the time of day possibly. So I want you to, today we're going to practice brush strokes. Brush strokes, my friends, what do you think brush strokes are? Tell Miss Liso. Yeah, so there's another clue in the word, right? Brush strokes are marks that your brush leaves on the paper with paint. So again, brush strokes, say brush strokes. Brush strokes are marks the brush leaves on the paint, on your paper or on your canvas. We're going to practice brush strokes today. So first, let me see. Take your magic fingers up in the air, and I want you to practice brush strokes like Claude Monet. Ready? We're gonna go brush, brush, brush strokes, brush strokes, brush strokes. So if you notice, those remind you of lines, dashed lines we used to practice in class. So practice with Miss Liso. Brush, 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 brush. Those are little brush strokes we're using. Now, other types of brush strokes may go up and down like this. Brush, 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 Other brushstrokes maybe do X's, little X marks. So there's different types of brushstrokes you can practice today. Now I'm going to give you the materials you need for this assignment. Miss Liso in the assignment section has given you this sheet to practice with. And these boxes are the ones we're going to fill in with our brushstrokes. If you do not have a printer, that's okay. You can practice on a blank sheet of paper. That's okay too. Other materials you're going to need for this assignment are, Miss Liso likes to use her paint, so I'm going to use my paint. And the colors Miss Liso's using are light, bright colors, like orange, yellow, pink, green, and like a light blue. If you don't have paint, that's okay. You can use crayons. Okay, you can use crayons to do it as well. And you could do marks like that. Whether it's brush strokes or marks with crayons, both of them are leaving a texture on your artwork. You could also use markers if you'd like. And I know many of you friends at home have watercolors. You can use watercolors as well, my friends. Okay, my friends, so what I want you to do is I want you to pause, get your materials, and I'll meet you back for a closer look, and we're going to do this together. Welcome back, friends. So I hope you got all your materials that you need to create this assignment. So this week we are practicing to do brush strokes, to create brush strokes like our artist Claude Monet. Now, my friends, an easy way to remember Claude Monet is to say this little song. Monet, Monet, paint the day. Now you go. Monet, Monet, paint the day. Because Monet loved to paint the day outside. So let's sing it one more time. Let Miss Liso hear you. Monet, Monet, paint the day. Excellent, my friends. So just like Claude Monet, we're going to practice our brush strokes so that we can also create our landscape later on. So again, you could also use markers or crayons and create your marks that way as well. Miss Lisa's going to have a paintbrush first and start. So the first, one of the first boxes we see are brush strokes that go horizontally. Then if you go down, we see brush strokes that go like an X mark, like marking an X back and forth. And then these are kind of up and down marks and side to side marks. Now there is no real wrong way of creating your brush strokes, but this is a good practice so that you can see how marks change the way your painting might look or your art might look. So let's practice. Miss Liso has little swatches of paint right next to her, and I guess I'll pick this one to start with. Okay, so I want you to try to do little brush strokes. See how Miss Liso is holding the brush properly? And I'm just going brush stroke, brush stroke, brush stroke, brush stroke. And then I turned over my brush to use the other side. And it's almost like our dashed lines. Miss Liso ran out of paint. I could switch colors. Let me try this pink. Now, I might want to continue, but I might also want to fill in the white spaces on my paper. It's okay to go on top. We want to try to do these little brush strokes, small little dashed lines. Just like that. If I wanted, I could continue. Oh, my brush ran out. I'm going to choose another color. I'm going to go with, let's try this blue. And I'm going to do dashed little lines. I hope you're trying this with Miss Liso. If you're doing with crayons and markers, you're also doing dashed lines, right? And it's nice when the paint mixes a little bit. You see how I created that little beautiful color over there? And it looks like the light is reflecting in the water. It gives you a beautiful impression. Now I'm going to take this little green and I'm going to go back up and try to fill in those white spaces. As you check your work, I want you to see, do I have too much white that means I have to go back. And you're going to continue creating those little dashed lines and practice your brush strokes. Now, is Miss Liso going like this and painting lines? No. Is Miss Liso dabbing her brush like this? No. We're taking the side of her brush and making little lines. Now, if I had a marker or a crayon, I would be taking the side of my little marker and doing little lines like that. Okay, let's practice our next brush stroke technique. We're gonna take our brush. That's okay, we're using a dry brush technique. If you have some paint, that's all right. You could wipe it a little bit on the side, it's fine. Now we're going to start with blue. And this time, instead of doing dashed lines, let's do little X's. X, and go back and forth. Back and forth. Again, am I doing huge X's or am I rubbing around? No, we're doing little X's and practicing our brush strokes. Oh, ran out. Perfect time to get another color. And I'm going to do little X's to practice different brush strokes. This week is just about practicing. We're just going to practice our brush strokes. Now, when you think you're running out, these little X's, go ahead and try another color. Back and forth, back and forth. Now it looks like I have a little bit of white spaces. I'm going to try to go back and cover those little white spaces with little X's. And if it mixes, that's even better. It looks great when it mixes a little bit. So that's that one, a little bit of X markings. Now for these brush strokes, it's up and down lines. See how these were side to side? These are gonna go up and down, vertical lines. So maybe I'll start with a little pink this time. And I'm gonna go down, 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 little lines. See that? And I'm going to turn my brush over and continue. Little line, little line. Now you don't have to copy it exactly, that's okay. We're going to try now to go sideways. Oops. Sideways. Our brush strokes. Do you see those marks? See the marks? Those are brush strokes. Those are all the marks that we want to see on the paper. Now, in the middle, maybe I'll use a little bit of this blue and go back and forth, little brush strokes. See if maybe you could create your own brush stroke. That would be kind of fun. And you see the little white spots? I'm just going to go back and fill those in. And just like that, my friends, we finished painting our beautiful brush strokes and practiced our brush strokes. And now we're almost ready to create our landscape for next week. Thank you, my friends, for joining me this week. Next week, I'll see you soon as we create our landscape. Bye, friends.